Hello everyone, Jace here. So Konami just announced a new Master Duel event, so I'll be going over the announcement and the new Forbidden Limited list for the event. So the Extra Zero Festival will take place during the dates listed below. Dueling the event to gain medals. The more medals you get, the more awesome rewards you can get. Okay, yep, same as all the other events. So Extra Zero Festival. You will only have a main deck this time. You won't be able to rely on your extra deck. Take on your opponents with new tactics and seize victory. In this event, the time limit of a duel is 300 seconds. Extra decks are not available for this event. Pendulum monsters, however, can be used as usual. The main deck will have a special Forbidden Limited list. Some cards will be unavailable for the sake of game balance. Please check the event exclusive Forbidden Limited list to see what you can or cannot use. During the event, you can duel with the same rule sets and duel rules. Okay, yep, and that's all the same. And here's the new rewards. So the Extra Zero Festival 2022, once you max out all the medals, and only monster art this time, which is a little, disappointing compared to all the other, last couple events have been giving out mates as, rewards, which are way better. And that's about it. There is one change here that I have noticed. In this event, the time limit of the duel is 300 seconds. I'm pretty sure normally, it's 450 seconds, so they are reducing the time. And honestly, I think they should bring this over to ranked, because, the timer right now is just way too long. I don't think, unless you're, don't know your combo deck at all, you probably aren't going to be using up all that time. I think, 6 minutes is probably a fair trade-off for, well, actually, no. That's 5 minutes, sorry. Yeah, 5 minutes is probably a fair trade-off for, regular duels. But let's actually move on to the duel menu to see what the new loner decks are. So loner decks, let's check them out. The Adventurer Summoning, Rite of Aramesir, a deck centered around Adventurer tokens, the effects of various cards. If an Adventurer token is not on your field, the battle cannot begin. First, let's try to activate Rite of Aramesir. If you don't have it in your hand, you can use the effect of Water Entrances of the Temple instead. If you don't have either of these cards in your hand, fight on by calling monsters to your hand using Fateful Adventure and using Wandering Griffin Rider that can be special summoned when there are no monsters on your field. So yeah, this is a pure adventure deck. Honestly, this might be okay just because, Griffin is such a good card. 3 is kind of weird though. I know it's, pure, but 3 is definitely just too many. There's a lot of one-offs for some reason. I don't understand why. Why is there a one-off Pot of Desires and a one-off Lightning Storm? That's kind of weird. And a one-off Flame Twisters? 3 Fateful Adventurer doesn't make sense though for a pure version, because that's one of your main searchers other than Water Entrances, which is a semi. But this deck isn't really the best way to play adventures in this event, because you can use a Mono or Wado as a lockdown tool with not Fateful Adventure, with Rite of Aramesir. But yeah, so this is the first loner deck. Second one, Floowandereeze Travel Diaries. A Floowandereeze deck that uses normal summoning as its core strategy. It can be summoned via the effects of Floowandereeze and a Magnificent Map, or even special summon during the opponent's turn with the effect of Floowandereeze and the Dreaming Town. Bring out the full potential of Floowandereeze monsters and summon your key cards like Floowandereeze and Snowl. Tribute summoning a level 7 or higher monster requires you to tribute 2 cards, but if the effects of Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds is applied, it is also possible to tribute summoning while dealing with your opponent's card. So, this is a Floowandereeze deck, and 3 of every Floowandereeze is kind of dumb. Snowl is not that great. It's quick effect changing special summon monsters on your opponent's side of the field to face down defense position, which isn't bad, but you can use Mega Raiza, which is a rare. If you have the Floowandereeze cards, you might as well just make the deck yourself. I don't really understand what's with these one-offs. Why did they putting these one-offs in the... these make sense because they're limited, but why is Pot of Desires at 1 and Lightning Storm and Twin Twisters? This deck is definitely missing Mega Raiza, Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, Apex Avian. But other than that, I guess this isn't so bad because it's still a Floowandereeze deck, and M-Pen should be good enough to carry the deck. And lastly, we have Machina Activation. A Machina-focused deck that uses high-level machine-type monsters. Prepare yourself for the powerful monsters you will summon with Machina redeployment, such as a Machina Air Raider that can be special summoned by discarding a Machina monster from your hand, or Machina Citadel that can be special summoned from your graveyard with a face-up machine-type Earth monster on your field is destroyed in battle or by an effect. When the level of the machine monsters in your graveyard totals 12 or more, a new trump card, Machina Ruin Force, can rise from your graveyard. Experience the extraordinary power of the Machina armed unit. So, this is a pretty standard Machina list. 2 gear frames, kinda weird, because it's a Stratos. You probably want to run 3. Like, there's a little too many. There's like a little bit of too many like 2-offs in this deck, but overall, it's still like a decent Machina deck. I think, like, between all 3 of these, this one's probably the best one. Maybe Fluandrees. Maybe Fluandrees is better, but like they're both pretty close. But yeah, and still with the 1-offs, I don't really get this. But yeah, this is all the loner decks, and let's move on to the ban list. So the ban list is everything extra deck is related is banned. And I do not want to scroll through all of this, so I'll actually be switching over how I'll be presenting the ban list, because I do not want to scroll over every single extra deck monster just to find whatever normal monster, like main deck stuff they banned. So let's move over there. And here we are. I'm going to be using yugioh to present the ban list this time. So extra deck, extra zero festival, all changes. So, Dark Lord Earth Reficule, Garbage Lord, Giant Kozaki, Inspector Border, Malevolent Mech, Goku N, Mikayon the Time Lord, and Raffion the Time Lord. Okay, yeah, so these are pretty big, like, burn nerfs and self-TK nerfs. So, Dark Lord Earth Reficule being banned just means, like, you can't play Nurse Burn. So that deck's out. No, Stun has also got a little hit with Inspector Border. And Time Lords are pretty much dead. I'm pretty because Mikayon and Raffion are like 2 of the strongest like burn ones. So without them, you can't really do much with the deck. And more factor Pain the Imagination Drake Overlord, Herald of Perfection and Herald of Ultimateness. So this is a pretty big hit for like Drytron, because like those are basically the main ritual monsters they would be using if they like for the deck. I mean, but Drytron really kind of struggles because they do rely on their extra deck a lot. So I don't know if they would have really seen a bunch of play, especially since Herald, like the Herald of Arclight, you can't play that because it's an extra deck monster. So you can't play Diviner of the Herald. So honestly, like they might not have been that good anyway, but like still hitting these just to make sure is a good thing. Cauldron of the Old Man, Chain Strike, Fusion Cybernetic Fusion Support, Fire Prison, Preferable Popper Upper, Star Blast, and White Veil. So let's see. A couple of these are more self-DK cards. Fire Prison? That's honestly kind of weird. It doesn't really make sense either, because that like lockdowns Lynx, and you can't play Lynx anyway. So I don't know why they would need to ban it. But Chain Strike and Cauldron of the Old Man makes sense, because they're burn cards. Appointer to Red Lotus, Bad Reaction to Samochi, Ceasefire, Chain Burst, DD Dynamite, Destruction of Destiny, Extinction on Schedule, Imperial Order, and Relay Soul. So, let's see, I'm pretty sure this is self-DK cards in Appointer to Red Lotus. Bad Reaction Samochi is another Nurse Burn card. Ceasefire is a burn card, Chain Burst is a burn card, DD Dynamite is a burn card. They already semi-limited that though, so that, like... Also, the extra deck is banned, so you can't use the Banquet of Millions to actually burn people with DD Dynamite, so that one's kind of weird to ban. Destruction of Destiny, Extinction on Cycle, I think those are self-DK cards. And so is a Relay Soul. And Imperial Order is banned. They really do need to bring that over to the main format, because Imperial Order is such a dumb card. Next up, Limited List. Anka Mofrite. Is that the Pendulum monster that Monarchs use to get us free draw and tribute material? I think it might be. So that sort of makes sense, but at the same time, like, it's a good card, but like, I don't think they needed to ban it. I guess because they don't want every deck just getting an Upstart Goblin because they have an empty extra deck. Ghost Fairy Elphobia. I think that's Floodgate monster that Fluandereeze can use. Like, it doesn't matter, because I'm pretty sure I didn't see, like, the barrier statue being hit at all. It might be, like, further down, but, like, it's not banned, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see, Megalith Hoggith, Megalith Ophiel, Megaliths are getting hit. They probably are one of the stronger ritual decks in this format, so that makes sense. Black Garden, like, I guess this is a lockdown tool, because you can't use it for burn shenanigans without extra deck monsters. Burden of the Mighty, since everything has a level now, I guess they want to limit that along with level limit area B. Chicken Game is limited, and so is card buys. That's a pretty big hit to True Draco, because True Draco really relies on card demise to actually get card draw and stuff. And Chicken Game is just another draw card. Maybe they should bring this over to the regular game, because Chicken Game enables so many FTKs with how many cards you can draw through your deck with. Necro Valley, Secret Village of the Spellcasters, Spellpower Mastery. I understand Necro Valley and Secret Village of the Spellcasters because it seems like they're hitting Floodgates and Zombie World, sort of. I don't really get Zombie World though, because it kind of completely kills zombie decks. Spellpower Mastery though, that definitely sucks for Endymion strategies. I guess they don't want like one of the best pendulum decks for like this event being usable, because like you could theoretically just run Endymion for this event. Let's see, Goes in Match, Gravity Bind, Mastery Restrict, Ojama Duo, Ojama Trio, Skill Drain, Monarch Erupt, True Draco Apocalypse, and True Draco Return. Dang, that's a lot of True Draco cards. They hit any of main deck monsters? No. They didn't hit any of the main deck monsters, but hitting their traps is kind of a big deal. And so is hitting the Monarch's Erupt, because them losing another copy of Skill Drain, because the Skill Drain is also limited, really does suck. Master Restrict is also, I guess, because like most of the main deck decks are tribute decks, like True Draco, so they are hitting that really hard. Monarchs, Fluandereeze, and Fluandereeze is new, so they don't want to have people not playing Fluandereeze, you know. And Gravity Bind getting hit makes sense, because that is annoying when there's no like monsters you can make that are just immune to the effect, like Link or Xyz monsters. Goes in Match is also another Floodgate. They didn't hit Rivalry of Warlords, did they? No, they didn't. So that's kind of weird. Hitting Goes in Match and not Rivalry or Tick-Boo is kind of weird, but whatever. And Ojama Duo and Trio are burn cards, so that makes sense. So yeah, and one semi-limited card, which is Pandora's Jewelry Box. That's a pendulum monster, I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember what it does. Like, it probably doesn't matter though. So yeah, that's the list. Overall, I think it's mostly good. I think there are a couple weird hits, like Fire Prison for some reason, and like hitting the Endymion cards, hitting the Tribute Summoning cards, Restriction cards. Like, those don't really need to be hit, I'm gonna be honest. I think they just don't want people to, like, completely, like, lock down Fluandereeze, because otherwise, like, one of the loner decks is Fluandereeze, so they don't want people just completely locking down one of those, but still, like, they don't really need to hit those cards. But yeah, that's the list overall. For the event itself, I'm not super excited, to be honest, because it seems like with all these hits and just the format itself, Fluandereeze is going to be most of the decks you're going to see, and the Fluandereeze mirror, if you want to even play Fluandereeze, is not fun to play, because it's like, whoever goes first wins, like, 100% of the time, basically. And, like, just in general, most of the main deck, like, exclusive decks are just not fun to play against, and this is just going to be, like, another Floodgate type of dealing with deck, because like all the tribute summon decks are all Floodgate based basically, because they're not really super creative on how they make main deck tribute summon decks. But yeah, that's the event. As I'll probably post a stream link eventually whenever the event goes up, so look forward to that. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.